Hi, welcome to Fertility Talks. I'm Mary Wong, author of Pathways to Pregnancy and founder of Alive Holistic Health Clinic and acupuncturist and your fertility coach. And today we are going to be talking about IVF and pre and post embryo transfer acupuncture treatments. And I'm here with our guest, who is one of our fellow acupuncturists, registered acupuncturists at Alive Holistic Health. And we've been talking about this because it's such an important conversation about when the heck are we doing acupuncture and why are we doing it? Mm-hmm. So let's get into the meat of this. All right, okay. So we just lost connection for a second, but hopefully everything's all good.
Yeah.
So let's get right into it. So
Okay.
People come in. So when people are at fertility clinics, they call us and say, hey, we're going to be doing an embryo transfer, and I want to do some acupuncture.
Yeah. And so I think that they are initially and that acupuncture. But what's also important is incorporating, other treatments of acupuncture. So pre and post is really important, but starting even earlier is also very important.
Yeah. Okay, so let's break it down. So why are we doing an acupuncture session before the embryo transfer?
Before embryo transfer, we want to build the client's lining up. So we focus on making sure our endometrial lining is really nice and thick and juicy, so that when it comes to using pre and post transfer acupuncture, everything is ready to go, and we just have to keep her calm, keep increasing blood circulation to the uterus so that it's receptive for the implantation of the embryo. But also, prior to even getting to that point, is focusing on egg quality and making sure that the body is well balanced and full of really good nutrients, so that it has the energy and the strength to develop beautiful follicles that can be retrieved and turned into healthy, strong embryos.
So that is now bringing in the second piece, right? We're talking now about doing acupuncture preceding even your IVF retrieval, and addressing that, what Tara is saying here about utilizing acupuncture to increase the blood volume, to potentially help increase nutrients, oxygenation, and cellular energy to help with the egg development.
Yes.
As I always say, people envision as though the eggs are like ready to drop every month. And the reality is they start out as germ cells, and it takes time for it to develop, right? So what we want to do is to help it develop, kind of like when you plant a seed in a garden, right? Yeah. You're not going to plant it in a non-fertile...
unhealthy soil.
Yeah.
You want it to be as fertile and as strong and as potent as possible, so that these follicles can just grow and form into beautiful, healthy, big follicles that can be easily retrieved and then move forward on the process.
And so, to address some research around this, there's been research for over a decade, for sure, about how acupuncture may help embryo transfers and pregnancy rates. But really, the missing piece is, that's just looking at the uterine lining. And how about if we step back and actually help the follicles potentially, right? So there are now newer studies that really, there's nothing definitive, but certainly alludes to it.
Yes, of incorporating many TCM practices into your treatment regime. So whether it's acupuncture, herbs, tuina massage, cupping, gua sha, ear seeds, the entire scope of TCM theories and practices, in order to facilitate the body becoming as strong and balanced and ready to do what it needs to do to ensure a strong fertility journey for the couples that are on it.
And so then we would need to add in, part of Chinese medicine, really, the big piece is about lifestyle and dietary habits. So we cannot overlook that. And yes, it is important to look into your life and your lifestyle habits, right?
Right, always. Yes, we're one piece of a very big puzzle, and we're here to help with that one piece, but it takes a village, and it takes a lot of different aspects coming into your life and coming at this journey in a lot of different ways.
So then the other piece that we did not cover was, we talked about pre-embryo transfer treatment, but then now the purpose of post-embryo transfer treatment.
So after the embryo transfer has been done, what I like to do when I'm at one of the fertility clinics is have the client come back into the room and just get really relaxed and really cozy, and just give them a really tonifying, uplifting treatment where there are no additional contractions that may occur because of the transfer, and just keep their minds and their bodies really relaxed and strong and lifted up. So the entire experience, they leave feeling confident and happy and calm.
Thank you for saying this, because what I didn't share was that Tara is basically our go-to acupuncturist that will go on site as well at the fertility clinics. And I don't know about other fertility clinics out there, but I haven't found one where it looks like a beautiful spa retreat, right?
No.
So not really conducive for relaxation
Yeah.
is the point.
Yeah, absolutely.
And thankfully, doing things like acupuncture might actually help get us to a better place.
Yep.
And help us relax.
Keep us in that parasympathetic state where the entire body is nice and calm and open and receptive, and facilitating the whole process of hopefully becoming pregnant.
Can you share with us, remember one time you said, oh gosh, like one of the reproductive endocrinologists thanked Tara because they were relaxed or something? Tell us
Yes,
about that. Yeah. Okay.
I think it was Dr. Hannum at Hannum Fertility who was really happy with how a client's uterus looked after acupuncture. He said it was really nice and relaxed and really juicy and ready to receive that beautiful embryo. So I took that as a wonderful compliment.
Yeah, so he thanked her, right? So that says something.
Yeah.
And again, we never make guarantees, but certainly we want to know that you're doing the best possible thing. Because guess what? IVF costs a heck of a lot of money.
It does.
And you want to know that you're trying
Putting
to
your best
optimize.
foot forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Without regret.
Without regret. Yeah. And so if we can be a little part of that puzzle, we are more than happy to be a part of it, to be a part of the journey. Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to add? This is a quickie because I thought, people always ask, it's like, oh, actually I do know. So some people will, want to follow the protocol of let's do acupuncture like immediately before
Yes.
and immediately after.
And let's stick to a regiment of points,
Yeah.
which isn't always the case. With a lot of the studies that have come out, they focused on a very specific set of points, but the whole premise of TCM and traditional Chinese medicine is that it's personalized medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Every formula, every prescription of points are geared specifically to the individual. We look at their tongue, we look at their pulse. Even when I'm doing a pre and post transfer on a client that I've never met before, I take that into consideration so that I'm using the fertility points, but in addition, I'm using points that would just cater to their constitution. So it's an entire process.
For sure.
Yeah.
And so back to the actual physical timing then, does it have to be
Right.
20 minutes before?
No, it doesn't. You can have it the night before. You can do it the day after. It doesn't have to be strict and regimented. In fact, I think it's important that the individual try and be as relaxed and optimistic and happy going through this process as they possibly can. So if it means that you have to come the night before because you're too busy the day of, or you just want to relax, then you do that. And if it means you come the next day after your embryo transfer, because that's when you can really unwind and enjoy the treatment, then that's when you do it. You find an opportunity for the acupuncture treatment to fill you up with as much positive energy and benefit as possible.
And to, sorry guys, we're on this major street and
There's a fire.
Yeah, there's a fire apparently, but we're pretty calm. What was I getting to? I got to get back to what I was thinking. My train of thought.
The time?
Yes. Okay. So two things. One is that for most clinics that I know of, they want you to have a full bladder before you do your embryo transfer. So to try to, fill up while you're lying there, it's not necessarily so comfortable.
Yeah.
But, you know, some people will choose to do it, and if that's great, great.
Yeah. I time it pretty well with the individuals. I give them water while they're lying there if they need it. So we work around the full bladder, but absolutely the bladder is uncomfortable as it fills up.
Yeah, so it's not as comforting of a treatment as if you were to do it the day before.
Right.
And oh yes, okay, so when it comes to post, there's even some people that would be fearful. Oh my gosh, like, you know, this is around implantation time, so maybe it can harm me. And you know what? If you're with a trained, qualified fertility acupuncturist that knows what they're doing, there is no way they can cause any harm.
No.
Because again, it's an individualized treatment.
Absolutely.
It's not doing by protocol.
Absolutely. We are using fertility points, but then we are tailoring every prescription to the individual. If they need more stimulation, if they need very little stimulation, it's very specific to the client that's coming in for the treatment.
Yeah, I had one lady who said, Mary, I know you tell me to come back a week later after the embryo transfer, but you know, I'm really super stressed, and can I come in every day? She did. So I'm like, all right, fine.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's
you don't
great.
need it, but okay, fine.
That's
and
great.
she says, I just need it as a relaxation tool.
Absolutely.
And if that's what was going to help her, which it did, and she has a brand new spanking baby to, you know, prove it. So
that's great.
Yeah, it's whatever works. And by the way, even when it comes to fertility drugs, right? Not every single woman's going to do well on a specific amount of hormones or even the specific kind of hormones.
Yeah, protocols are always different. They're always changing to adjust to the individual's body and how well they do with certain levels of all of the hormones that they're taking. It's individualized medicine all the way through, really.
Yeah. And you know, I was at the Canadian Fertility Andrology Society, and they really hammered that in, which I loved, because as much as we need research, which is very protocol based, they really recognize, and the reproductive endocrinologist said, you know what, this is becoming more tailored, individualized medicine. So I'm like, here, because that's really what it should be.
That's TCM in a nutshell. It's personalized medicine, down to formulas, down to acupuncture points. We take the whole person into consideration, and we treat them as a whole person, not just one in a lineup of all the same. So when you're looking at the studies and you're trying to get information, it's really important to take that into consideration, and then find an acupuncturist that you can talk about the studies with, because we make a point of going through them and trying to understand them as best we can, so we can teach our clients and maybe other people what it actually means to break down an acupuncture study and see it for what it is.
Because I know a lot of you guys out there go on Dr. Google and look for research articles, and to be honest, with anything that you look at, you know, any subject out there, and you look at research, there's always going to be something for and something against. And we try to be as unbiased as possible, and thankfully we also have the know-how, and we have a keen sense of what works, what doesn't work, and through a lot of experience. So you reach out if you want, if you have any questions, okay? And Tara or I or any of one of our staff can serve you.
We'd love to talk about the studies and go over them. Yeah, that would be great.
Okay,
absolutely.
cool.
If there's any questions or concerns about anything that you're reading that has to do with acupuncture or pre and post transfer acupuncture, bring it up to us. Make a phone call. Ask to sit down with us. We'd love to talk about any of your questions or concerns, and really dispel any of the myths that may may not be circulating around.
Okay. And so on that note, we're at clinic@aliveholistic.health.ca. And we're on our page right now, so there are some interviews, but to be honest, over 130 interviews are actually on my Mary Wong page. So you can find that. Just go through marywong.life and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That'll just be easier now, okay? So check that out. We've got a gazillion. And then in the next couple of weeks, I'll actually be speaking to another acupuncturist, Michelle Kapler, and we're going to talk about how to find an acupuncturist, because again, not all are made equally, and especially in this field.
Yep, it's daunting. You don't know where to start, and you want to make sure you're getting quality, so absolutely.
Okay, cool. All right. gotta go. We gotta keep working. But we do this for you guys so that you have good information and so that you're not misinformed or guided down the wrong path.
Yep.
Okay?
Absolutely.
So thanks, guys, for watching. And again, if you haven't done so already, go on marywong.life, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you can get access to 139 sessions. Okay,
perfect.
Awesome. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Tara. You're welcome. Thanks, guys, for watching.